Hello and welcome to Broken Entertainment. So yesterday we talked about this deal between AT&T and Discovery where AT&T is spinning off Warner Media, and now we have more details of that have come to light. So we're going to cover some stuff, including top of the list. It is more or less confirmed that DC Comics has been sold by AT&T as part of the deal, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that gives DC Comics maybe a year to 2 years before Discovery decides what to do with it. Now, Discovery is not the majority partner in this, but their top guy is running the thing. I think they're going to give it a trial run and decide if they want to keep producing comics. Now, I could be wrong, and they could just stop altogether with that side of it. They could spin that off and just keep the movie properties and TV properties. We'll see what happens. But there's a lot to dig in on this article. This is on Cosmic Book News, but I chose this one because it kind of brings together all the different elements better than a lot of them. And it's going to take a little bit of time, so hold on to your seat. So DC Comics, WB Games sold an AT&T Warner Media Discovery merger. Details are slim at this point, but it's being reported that DC Comics and WB Games have been sold off in some form as a result of the newly announced AT&T Warner Media merger with Discovery. Monday saw the big news via Deadline that AT&T has inked a deal to unload Warner Media, which will merge with Discovery and be led by Discovery's David Zaslav as chief executive, with Warner Media's Jason Kilar allegedly out the door. So you can see there, Discovery basically running the show. You can read the full press release below, which explains that as a result of the Warner Media and Discovery merger, and we will read that, by the way, a new, as of yet unnamed company, how about creative, freedom-crushing, soul-destroying mega corporation number 3. That's a good name. Will be formed that unify brands. Listen to this. Listen to the list of stuff, of properties this includes. CNN, TBS, TNT, HGTV, Food Network, Discovery Channel, Warner Brothers Movie Studios, and streaming services HBO Max and Discovery Plus, along with Warner Media's U.S. sports rights such as MLB, NBA, March Madness with Discovery International Sports Titan Eurosport. Warner Media also includes DC Comics and WB Games. That is over 10 massive properties. They're going to control news, they're going to control sports media, they're going to control entertainment. Just think about that. All of that under one roof. And we're going to talk later in this video about just how bad things really are when it comes to this sort of thing, because this isn't even the biggest one. Think of the danger involved in one group owning all of that. Not just a major chunk of your entertainment, not just a major chunk of your sports, and not just one of the biggest cable news networks in existence, but all of those combined. We've seen some of the damage that can cause through Disney, but it's going to get so much worse. Regarding DC Comics and WB Games, again not confirmed, see tweets below, but it's claimed the sale includes some of WB Games, and DC Comics will be co-owned by Discovery, along with WB. So there it is. Before we get too far, DC Comics has been sold, just like Ethan Van Sciver said it would be, and just like I also agreed it would be. The news isn't all that surprising. Last June it was reported AT&T was looking to sell WB Games, and Ethan Van Sciver, a former awesome artist at DC Comics, has been right all along when he stated 2 years ago that AT&T would divest itself of DC Comics as well. He did, and he was right. The AT&T couldn't hold on to companies that aren't making any money while being $1 zillion in debt. And at the same time, they had to argue with Warner Media to put out the Snyder Cut, a movie they basically were just sitting on. You know, some people might say this is a reaction to HBO Max not getting the subscriber count they wanted, you know, over the last year, but This is the kind of thing that takes a long time to happen in the background. This isn't just a reaction to, Wonder Woman 84 not doing well or whatever. The deal is expected to go through mid-2022, so there will be still a while to go, but worth a note is that the new company will not be run by someone from Warner Media, but by the head of Discovery. Again, Discovery is running the show. WB Games is getting broken up somehow due to AT&T's Warner Media Discovery sale merger. Some of the gaming arm will stay with AT&T and some will go with the new company, rep tells Axios. No further information. Warner Brother Games lists 11 studios, games for all kinds of IP and devices. Correcting part of this tweet, the sale includes some of Warner Brothers Interactive Warner Brothers games, but not all. The sale does include DC Comics. Discovery, through the new venture, now effectively co-owns DC Comics with Warner Brothers. Rooster Teeth is also part of the sale. Then Ethan Van Sciver, glowing in his own correct prediction. Let's get into the press release a little bit. I'm not going to go through all of it. There's a lot of spin and bullshit. AT&T's Warner Media and Discovery Incorporated creating standalone company by combining operations to form new global leader in entertainment. I mean, it's crazy. You'll see. Under the terms of the agreement, AT&T will receive $43 billion, subject to adjustment and a combination of cash, debt, securities, and Warner Media's retention of certain debt. And AT&T shareholders would receive stock representing 71% of the new company. That's really important to keep hold of. Discovery shareholders would own 29%. Board of directors of both AT&T and Discovery have approved the transaction. Companies expect the transaction will create substantial value for AT&T and Discovery shareholders by bringing together the strongest leadership teams, content creators, and high-quality series and film libraries. Spinity spin. Forming a new company that will have significant scale and investment resources with projected 2023 revenue of approximately $52 billion. And an industry-leading free cash flow conversion rate of 60%. Creating at least $3 billion in expected cost synergies annually for the new company to increase its investment in content and digital innovation and to scale its global DTC business, DTC being direct-to-consumer. The new company will compete globally in the fast-growing direct-to-consumer business, bringing compelling content to DTC subscribers across its portfolio, including HBO Max and the recently launched Discovery Plus. Transaction will combine Warner Media's content library of popular and valuable IP with Discovery's global footprint, trove of local language content, and deep regional expertise across more than 200 countries and territories. The new company will be able to invest in more original content for its streaming services, enhancing the programming options across its global linear pay TV and broadcast channels, and offer more innovative video experiences and consumer choices. The pure play content company will own one of the deepest libraries in the world with nearly 200,000 hours of iconic programming, and will bring together 100 of the most cherished, popular, and trusted brands in the world under one global portfolio. Over 100 brands run by one board of directors. Let that just kind of sink in for a minute. And think about what this means for creativity. We've talked in other videos about how these giant companies just kind of crap out movies because it's easy and they can just make as much content as they want, and then eventually some of it will be successful. We've talked about formulas. We've talked about agendas. This is how that happens. You have 100 companies, 100 brands, sorry, not companies, 100 brands controlled by one room full of people. Is this the kind of thing you think is going to help entertainment and creativity? Because I think it's going to quash it even more. This includes HBO, Warner Brothers, Discovery, DC Comics, CNN, Cartoon Network, HGTV, Food Network, the Turner Networks, TNT, TBS, Eurosport, Magnolia, TLC, Animal Planet, ID, and many more. Think about that. We already have Disney owning a lot of crap too. And we're going to get into that. Let's talk about Mickey Mouse. So on one hand, we have new company number 3 coming in owning a whole bunch of crap. Let's talk about what this really means. Let's look at Disney. Now, I have skipped over, this is Wikipedia, I know, but it's the easiest place to get all this information put together. I'm going to skip over the parks and the cruise lines and all that crap. Nobody cares. Doesn't matter for what we're talking about. Disney Games, Disney Mobile, Disney Canada, GameStar, RocketPack, Go.com. Disney Publishing, Core Publishing, Digital Publishing, Disney Book Apps, Disney Learning, NG Media. There's the parks, more parks, more parks. I mean, look at all this. It's crazy. But that's parks. Here we go. Live action produced Disney Studios. Walt Disney Pictures, Disney Nature, Marvel, and within Marvel, Marvel Animation, Marvel Music, Marvel Film Productions, Marvel MVL Development, MVL Productions LLC, Lucasfilm, including Industrial Light and Magic, Lucasfilm Games, Lucas Online, and Lucas Licensing, which includes Lucas Books, 20th Century Fox, 20th Century Family, 20th Digital Studio, Fox Studios Australia, Boom Studios, minority stake, thank God, but it hasn't prevented them from telling Boom not to pay people that owe royalties that have had transferred contracts. Regency Enterprises, Wondery, Searchlight Pictures, Walt Disney Animation, Pixar, 20th Century Animation, Marvel Animation, Lucasfilm Animation, Disney Digital Studio Services, Studio Production Services, Disney Theatrical Productions, General Entertainment Content, ABC. This includes ABC, ABC Daytime, Greengrass Productions, ABC Family Worldwide, Disney Television Studios, Hulu, FX, FXX, FX Movie Channel, FX on Hulu, FX Entertainment, FX Productions, Disney Channel, Disney Junior, Disney Television Animation, It's a Laugh Productions, National Geographic Television, Nat Geo Wild, Nat Geo Mundo, National Graphic Studios, ABC Audio, Lincoln Square Productions, ABC News Radio. 50% equity holding joint venture with the Hearst Corporation provides them with A&E Networks International, A&E Networks Consumer Enterprises, A&E Studios, A&E Films, History Films, 6 West Media, 45th and Dean, A&E Networks Digital, A&E Ventures, A&E Network, Lifetime Entertainment Services, History Network, including History, Military History, History in Espanol H2. Lifetime includes Lifetime, Lifetime Real Women, A&E Crime Investigation, FYI, so on and so forth. 80% equity holding, ESPN, all of it. And we have their traditional studios here. Music, direct-to-consumer services owned by or majority owned by Disney. Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney streaming services, as well as Nova Digital Entertainment, which I've never heard of before. They own Disney Digital Network, ABC News Digital and Live Streaming, Disney Now. Internationally, ABC Spark IP, Disney Branded Television, ESPN International, Fox Networks Group, which includes, but is not limited to, Fox, Fox Crime, Fox Comedy, Fox Life, Fox Movies, Fox Sports International, FX, Baby TV, 24 Kitchen, National Geographic Global, Star World. Think about that. Let that kind of sink in. Just give it a minute. Now we're going to go over to the other big player on the block, NBC Universal. That's kind of in the name, isn't it? So your 3 major conglomerates. Company number 3, Disney. Now we'll take a look at NBC Universal. What does NBC Universal own? NBC Universal Syndication Studios International Media Distribution, EMK Ltd, NBC, of course, NBC Studios, E Studios, SIFI, USA, Bravo, E! Oxygen, Universal Kids, Telemundo, Universo, Telemundo of Puerto Rico, Telemundo Studios, etc. Affiliate relations, NBC-owned television stations. Here's a big long list. NBC Sports Group, Golf Channel, MLB Network, NBC Sports, NBCSN, NHL Network, Sports Engine, Telemundo Deportes? I don't know Spanish, bear with me. NBC Sports Regional, NBC Sports Digital, National Dog Show, direct-to-consumer, Fandango, part of Hulu, not very much, and they'll probably sell it off by 2024. Peacock, Picture Box Films, Universal Television, Syfy, we already covered that. 13th Street, Movies 24, E! We've already covered those. DreamWorks, there we go. CNBC, NBC News, Universal Television, different parks. Universal Pictures, of course, which also includes DreamWorks Animation, Amblin Partners, Universal Animation Studios. Universal's not as bad, but you see where this is going. Everything's being bought up by, what, 4 major companies maybe? 3? They act like the creation of this giant company is a huge deal, and it is. But they also act like it's a great thing for the fans, and it isn't. When there's more competition and creativity, there's more creativity. You have more people trying to come up with new and interesting ideas to hook people. You know, look at Pixar. Pixar produced some amazing movies when they were competing with Disney. The moment they get bought out by Disney, what happens? Okay? And there are plenty of other examples. You see this happen. Well, hell, let's look at Marvel. Look at the Marvel movies pre-Disney and look at the Marvel movies post-Disney. Exception, a couple of exceptions included, of course. You see how this happens. They take away the drive. They take away the individuality. They take away the indie, essentially. And you're left with corporate talking heads that say, we want this formula, please make this happen. This is, I think, an absolute disaster. I don't really know any other way to put it. So, I'm not super happy about being right about DC Comics, but here we are. Let me know what you think of this situation in the comments down below. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Hit the bell for notifications of new videos, and I will see you next time.